All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus show. I am One Bar, joined with Lupagus, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about something that generally we don't want to talk about because it means you suck. Is talking about the top 5 guys we could trade before the trade deadline.
You know, one thing that doesn't suck is that fantastic T-shirt you're wearing. What's on that thing?
Oh, this whole thing? That's not bad.
Yeah. That's nice. If they make those in the cut-off midriff style.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's the After Hours One Bar and Lupagus show.
Can't wait for that. Yeah, Minnesota Vikings, 1-5, nothing to play for this year. You know, they got some really hefty contracts coming up. They lost a second-round pick. They may be looking to create some cap space in the future and recoup that second rounder they lost in the Yannick Ngakoue trade. So if I'm Rick Spielman, I'm picking up that old banana. I'm making some phone calls on my buy, seeing what I can get for some players who are good players with some very, very hefty price tags.
Yes, the trade deadline is November 3rd, so they got a little bit of time yet. And you know, they used to NFL. It used to be very rare to see a trade come through, but lately, last few years, there's been a lot of trades. So I think the Vikings could be some movers and shakers.
You know what I say?
What?
It's more rare these days when we don't see a trade.
Wow. Well, the Vikings, lucky for some other teams, the Vikings have some players that could help them make a run into the playoffs, as much as it might hurt our Purple Hearts.
Yeah, definitely have some players to get some teams over that hump and contend those pesky Chiefs, knock them off the top rung of the NFL ladder. And I think the first one we both know, and it both hurts our heart, but he's got to go. He definitely could help a team out. Is Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph, 31 years old in November. You know, he's I wouldn't say he's a shell of him for himself, but he just doesn't seem to get the ball much in this offense. We got Irv Smith. This year he's got 6 receptions, 66 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 big ass contract.
Yeah, and you think, you know, a team that's in the hunt, you know, the Patriots gives a talented tight end like Kyle Rudolph, just the top off the top of my head, that's one that comes to mind. I'm not sure what you get for him, but probably, you know, third day, early third day.
Yeah, well, I mean, at best, you're probably looking at like a 6th-round pick for Kyle Rudolph. People can be like, "Oh my God, no!" But I mean, look at his age. He could go to a team like the Ravens, the Colts. There's a lot of teams that could use him. Man, but it would be sad to see him go.
Yeah, because he's going to be in the Ring of Honor someday, and you know he is purple down to his very bottom parts. And a guy like that who's been so good on the field, so good off the field in this community, you hate to see him go, but it makes so much sense to try to ship him.
Yeah, and it's not so much. I mean, we're talking about these trades. It's not so much just to the compensation. It's just getting them off the team. Looking forward. I mean, I wouldn't say we're in full rebuild mode here, but they gotta make some moves.
Absolutely.
So,
all right, who else you got on your list?
Well, this is another one that last year was floated around in trade talks very heavily, it seemed like, and that's safety Anthony Harris.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, Vikings franchised him. I don't know. I just don't see it there's money to re-sign him next year. Maybe you draft his replacement. He's had a decent season. I wouldn't say he's been exceptional, but he's been all right. Definitely a team who could use a safety. I mean, why not give a call again with his? You know, they're going to have to kind of sign him to a big deal next year, so he's going to come with a price tag for whoever deals him. So compensation may not be what you would think it's worth, but again, couple positives. If you do move him, you get something in return, and you bring in a young safety to groom, whether that you're bumping a guy up, or maybe it's George Iloka, maybe it's Josh Metellus, but that's going to severely weaken your secondary, which is also going to make more losses, which is going to up the old draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Harris just turned 29. Like you said, he's on the franchise tag. He's gonna command some money next year, but he's not having his 2019 season, but he's still having a very good season at safety. And unless they already know that they're gonna sign him, there is absolutely no reason to keep him. Harrison Smith, how old is he? 31, 30?
At least.
They're gonna be looking at revamping the whole safety position anyways. Yeah, I mean, this one makes a ton of sense. Anthony Harris, what do they get? 4th, 5th round pick for him?
Probably something around there.
So Anthony Harris is one that out of these 5 really, really makes the most sense to move on from, unless they already know they're going to bring him back. Another guy, offensive tackle Riley Reif, who they just restructured this offseason to come back, having a very good year. 0 penalties, 0 sacks allowed. Look at a team like the Titans, who just lost Taylor Lewan. be very, very attractive because this guy could go in and start at left tackle for a lot of teams.
Yeah, you said it. He's having a great year. No one really expected it out of him. We weren't even sure he was going to be on the team this year. Thank God he is, or we'd be 0-6. Again, what do you get? Who knows? Again, probably a middle road pick. But again, I mean, his contract, they were talking like his incentives are really easy to hit, so he could actually cost some more next year if he sticks around. So yeah, then you move him, you move Esther Cleveland to left tackle where he should be. He gets the experience he needs this season. That means he's ready to go next year. And your right guard is another damn conundrum, but maybe you figure out who goes there too.
Yeah, Riley Reef. This one again, like Anthony Harris, makes a lot of sense. More so because we got somebody that can go in and start taking over for him in Ezra Cleveland. So Riley Reef will be an interesting one to watch.
Absolutely.
Next up, let's leave the most painful one for last. Let's go with the kind of a surprise one, and that's our new guy. That's Yannick Ngakoue, who we just gave up a second round pick for.
Yeah, but what's it gotten the Vikings? They've gotten 1 victory, 5 losses, and they lose
5 sacks.
Yeah, so he has been pretty much the pressure on this defense up front. He had one big play last week. He had a nice run stop there, but he's not known for his run defense. As much as I'd love to see him and Daniel Hunter on the field at the same time, I just don't see how the Vikings are going to make that happen from a financial standpoint. I don't know what you get for a guy that you just gave up a second round pick for a few months back. That's very that's up in the air. It's kind of like buying your house and selling it in a couple weeks, but that's hard to say. But there's be a lot of teams who would be in the market for a premier pass rusher like Ngakoue. And what's the point in keeping him around here for a couple more wins?
Well, if they get rid of all these other guys we're talking about, they'll have space to sign him next year. But
maybe
Ngakoue, I mean, when we traded a second round pick, it was probably the thought of that it was going to be a later second round pick. At that point, Vikings were still going to be a pretty good team. So really, what they'd be looking at is probably like a third. Hey, here's a third and a fifth or something weird like that. But man, this one really blows because we were so excited when he came, and the thought was, the future would be fantastic. But man, did the shit hit the fan. So this one's absolutely on the table.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean,
they lose their ass. This is going to be an early second round pick, which sucks. But
here's the only thing that keeps him around. If for some reason the Vikings identify him as one of the guys they want to build around, I mean, he's still pretty young. I think he's only 25. To say, hey, we want Yannick, we want Daniil, we want Kendricks on defense. That's who we're in. Obviously, the young corners; those are our core. Then maybe they make a way to make it work. But yeah, at this point, who knows? I think he's definitely on the table.
All right, final one, the one that hurts the most, the best one out of the bunch, highest compensation, wide receiver Adam Thielen. No.
Yeah, could you imagine? We're not even halfway through the 2020 season, and we could be without Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs.
But we do have Justin Jefferson.
We do, and that's the thing that. Adam Thielen's what, 30, 31-ish, somewhere around there.
Just turned 30 in August.
Okay, so he's got a couple years left, couple seasons left. Again, a guy you hate to see go because Minnesota roots. The way he's worked his way up from being a tryout guy to a practice squatter to a special teamer to a starter to a star is it's an amazing story. One that they'll probably make a Rudy-esque movie about someday that I will watch and probably cry.
Straight to DVD.
Go straight to streaming now. But yeah, I mean, you said it, probably highest compensation. I don't think it's a first round pick, maybe a second rounder. If you're really looking to get that second round pick back for Ngakoue, then you look at Thielen. But I don't know. I think the repercussions of letting this guy go, who's kind of, I think, big part of the heart and soul in the offense right now, that could just be a locker room destroyer and definitely send the coaching staff out and this whole team into, we're talking New York Jets style territory.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Wow. Yeah. And Thielen, even though he just turned 30 in August, he's still at the top of his game. I mean, sure, he's probably got 1-2 years left of performing at this level, but a team like the Ravens, somebody like that, a team like the Patriots, damn, he'd be pretty damn good there. But yeah, this would probably be what, like you said, second round pick, maybe a second and a fifth, something weird, but it's not out of the question. People who think this is absolutely insane got to look at where the Vikings are at, got to look at where they're headed. And I think anything is on the table.
Yeah, you hate to say it, but you got to face reality some days.
Justin Jefferson and Chad Beebe leading this team into 2021.
Well, BB, I think, led the team in targets last week, so that's
Yeah,
not that far.
makes me very, very mad. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what you have it there. Those are the 5 Vikings we think could potentially be moved here before the trade deadline. See what happens. Again, this team's going nowhere. I think anything's on the table except, these young guys aren't getting moved. Jefferson, obviously, studs like that, guys that can build around aren't going anywhere. But
maybe they could package Drew Samia, Pat Elflein for a package of Starbursts.
Like
all yellows.
all
yellow Starburst.
I think I'd rather have the Starburst still. All right. Well, now you know who the Vikings could be trading, but now you're going to know this. You know when you draw the letter I and you make a little dot above it?
Mm-hmm.
That dot has a name, and that name is Tittle.